Hi, I'm Dianne Marsh. I lead device and content security at Netflix. I'm here today to talk to you about some challenges that we see in providing a sound security solution for a multi-tenant world. Scalable solutions to these problems start with the hardware IP. That's why ARM and Netflix are working together in exploration of reference multi-tenant designs that facilitate secure media use cases. Here are some of the topics that I'll touch on today. By the end of this talk, I hope I will have convinced you to join us in solving this problem together. Times have changed. Many years ago, Netflix was able to work closely with a small number of OEMs, engaging deeply on the security architecture. The T and secure media pipeline that you see in today's solutions were outcomes from these collaborations. We were able to improve the security ecosystem overall, not just for Netflix, but for everyone. We have those same aspirations today, but it just doesn't scale. So let's talk about what else has changed. Devices have changed. Where we previously had closed devices, such as in televisions, now these devices are increasingly open. Devices that used to be dedicated to a single service now have to support many services. This has increased complexity and security, and designs are still catching up. Our consumers' expectations have changed as well. We're not in the position of having just one device in someone's home that's able to watch Netflix or a specific dedicated service. Instead, our consumers expect that our services will all run on all of their devices, from streaming to live TV to video on demand. That means that we have to solve all of these use cases. Consumers aren't particularly interested in hearing our complexities in solving these problems. They really just want things to work. So it's great for consumers and a nice challenge for us. Okay, so if we're stuck with a multi-tenant world where many different devices are being used and consumers are bringing a lot of different services into the mix, we need to figure out how to design for this. Of all of the players in the industry, who has the appropriate context to be able to bring together a unified design? Well, we could start by thinking about TV operators. It's a logical choice. TV operators today commission set-top boxes and need to support multiple services. So why not? Well, they're still maturing in virtualization, so maybe this isn't the best choice yet. And also, the TV operator space is significantly complex. So then we can think about the CA vendors. They've been doing this for a long time. A lot of TV operators already delegate design to CA vendors, so why not them? Well, unfortunately, linear systems aren't really suitable for the OTT use case. CA vendors assume closed systems, while OTT really demands open ones. And even worse, coexistence between linear and OTT is even more complicated. There are standards, but they're regional, not global. And we need global solutions to both meet the demands of our consumers and to scale our efforts. Okay, so what about integrators? Some TV operators delegate security to integrators today. Unfortunately, what we see here is this leads to fragmentation. While mobile adds even different challenges. Telephony versus television drives very different solutions than the set-top box space. Subscribers bring their own devices in mobile. That's actually forced some convergence in mobile as they've had to support roaming on other networks. Maybe there are lessons we can learn from this. Our collective understanding and cooperation of all of these stakeholders is what will bring us a solution that we can use. All right, let's talk specifically about some of the challenges of multi-tenancy as this relates to our supply chain. The story is we need secure roots of trust in all of these very different devices. This calls for alignment between SoC vendors, ODMs, CA vendors, OTT vendors. All of these complexities that we previously discussed mean that we need to work together to define those secure roots of trust. Our unique challenges provide a complex puzzle. Well, you can't just set it and forget it in security. So we really need to plan for the fact that security requires change. Devices live for a long time, and yet they're often compromised. We need to have a plan. Here's a challenge. CA and OTT applications each require credentials, but there's no agreement on how to provision those to devices. And worse, there's no standard method for device recovery. We need to consider how to design the secure media pipeline from the ground up with multi-tenancy in mind. This cannot be an afterthought. Historically, SMP has been designed for OTT devices. It's becoming increasingly present in set-top boxes, but it's not designed for multi-tenancy. We need to bring virtualization to SMP to ensure that we can support this complex new world. Designing multi-tenant SMP requires all of us. From a hardware perspective, we really need to architect this at every layer. That's why ARM processor support is so important. SoCs, OEMs, operators, integrators, CA vendors, all bring unique perspectives and expertise to the conversation. It's important to bring them to the table to architect this thoughtfully and to be able to get all of our concerns reflected. But it goes beyond hardware. Netflix is seeing this already. Multi-tenant SMP can cause problems with policies, particularly when two different streaming video providers have different demands on how policies are enforced. This is best managed by the DRM for a scalable solution. Netflix is already engaging with DRM vendors and streaming video providers. We're working with the DRM vendors to help them understand what our expectations are. And we're working with our streaming video counterparts through industry coalitions so that they can understand what's coming for them and so that they can best address some of these concerns with us. I hope that you will join us in this challenge. We look forward to working together. Thank you very much.